Hello, this is Charlotte Krol for NSR, and I'm here to interview some of the guys from S.C.U.M. It's Sam and Hugh, before their stop tonight at the Newcastle O2 Academy for the 2011 Enemy Radar Tour. Okay, first of all, could you tell me a little bit about how the band formed? Radio, yeah.
Oh, it's radio.
Sorry.
That's all right. It started when Bradley met Tom. So I used to live in the same area in Elton, in South London, when they were going to school. And they started a band together from people they knew from school and stuff. And I saw them and promptly asked to join. I joined, and then a few members left, and we had Hugh's older brother play for a bit. And then he introduced us to Hugh, and Hugh came on board, and then we kind of played like about a year's worth of shows with Hugh and our old drummer, and then Mel joined.
Oh wow.
Come together, yeah.
Good stuff. And your sound's been compared to a vast range of bands from Psychedelic Furs, Simple Minds, Sisters of Mercy, and aside from the obvious biological links to the Horrors. How do you feel about these comparisons?
I've never heard any Sisters of Mercy, and I've never heard Psychedelic Furs.
Well, there you go.
So I don't know.
But there seems to be the thing at the moment is to compare new bands to those bands of that time. You know, that kind of shoegaze.
It seems like one journalist made a decision that that's what we sounded like, and then every other journalist has not bothered to listen to it properly and just kind of gone with it, which is fine. But as far as the Horrors goes, I mean, yeah, there's the obvious biological thing, but I think it's an interest in making quite vast-sounding, quite euphoric music, which is a good thing. Two bands coming out of London, even more than that, bands like Tame Impala, Boningen, Toy. There's a lot of Advert who have all been doing it the same amount of time.
Yeah.
I think it's really good for the British music scene to kind of come out like this, instead of it being a negative, which a lot of people take it for. I don't personally think we sound a lot like them, but I think it should be seen as a positive that there's an actual wave of interest in British music that there hasn't been for.
No, certainly. And I mean, I would agree that you've got your own unique sound. I wouldn't necessarily link you to the Horrors like all the other music journalists have, but it's one of those things where you tap it in on the internet, bang, there come the comparisons, and it's kind of difficult to shake it off, even if...
Yeah, every time we got reviewed in any magazine, whenever it said S.C.U.M, it said the Horrors, didn't it, for a while?
Yeah, and we kind of got a wave of reviewers who kind of had said like, kind of denouncing the kind of title of the Little Horrors. I understand the comparisons. I can understand how you could think that. We both use synths, but we've been using synths for a very long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see where it comes from, but
Sure. And are members in the band musically taught, or is it a mixture of improvising with stuff, finding your way on the instruments?
I think that's what we really enjoyed was the fact that none of us actually had really been kind of taught classically or actually played for that long anyway. Like Hugh was an actual guitarist and kind of took up to the bass when we asked him.
Yeah, I never played bass before.
And I actually came into the band playing guitar, and we had like 2 years of not playing guitar. I started as guitar and I couldn't play guitar, so I played a synthesizer that my dad gave me. Mel was the only kind of taught drummer, isn't she? She went to drum college.
She went to drum college. She must have played clarinet.
And do you think it's important, or do you think actually the improvisational style kind of actually nurtures your sound more?
Definitely. It's also to do with our synthesizers, you know.
Trying to make it sound as far away from the machine you've got in front of you. Anything's possible with what the equipment that we use, from the Moog Rogue to Korg MS-10s, and I think that was always our thing was people who weren't kind of trained to do a certain thing. We kind of wanted to try and emulate sounds, try to create the sound of running water, or to just see what you can do, because its possibilities are endless. There's infinite ways you can manipulate a synthesizer, and I think that was what was always exciting and drove our band from the very beginning. Was even when it was an onslaught of sound and noise, we were still trying something. There was a goal behind it, trying to make it sound like we had one song which was called like something about the jungle. We wanted to create this sound, this atmosphere of doing it, and we always loved making these atmospheres.
Yeah.
And
then after that, we realised we actually had to learn how to play songs.
So the lead single, Amber Hands, from your debut album, again Into Eyes, should put that in there. I noticed it's got a very obscure video attached to it, you know, lots of blurred colours and images, and I mean, I felt like that was a bit of a visual metaphor for the lust or the repressed lust that's featured in the lyrics. Was that kind of the aim you were going for there?
I think it was kind of like, I think we've always had this quite uncut, like we've never uncovered ourselves, really unveiled us. It's always behind a mask of strobes and kind of all these other things that kind of, I'm not sure, I think working with Matthew Stone, that's very kind of his work, that's very his style.
Yeah.
And we kind of got in with him and kind of spoke about ideas, and we didn't really want to give anything too much away. We just wanted to kind of create, I don't know.
Yeah, interesting atmosphere.
And of how we felt the song sounded.
I think we're getting some Nicky and the Dove in the background there, but it should be okay. Do you guys have any kind of ritual before you go on stage, like a hug or some kind of words you say to each other?
I try to avoid all of those by all costs.
No, we've never done that. We've
never had like all five high-fiving each other at once.
No pep talks.
And you recorded a series of songs called Signals in different parts of Europe while you were on tour there. Would you say location has a big influence on your writing, and if so, why?
Definitely, I think it's most influential for us, location. Because you can absorb so much from your surroundings, and you know, if you're in a dark place, you know, you create something that's dark. And for our album, we recorded the album in the countryside, and you know, we had endless fields around us, and that was a huge influence on the album.
Far away from everything, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's where songs like Whitechapel came from.
Yeah.
And I think that's where our sound turned around when we went to the countryside. We've been in places like Warsaw and Berlin, and if this they're quite trudging, dark, white, industrial sounding songs. So that's what we saw when we were in Poland. There was no colour. We went to Krakow and Warsaw. We were so inspired by this place which had no colour. It was so bizarre.
It's crazy. I've been to Krakow. I've been to the
in the winter, right? Yeah.
Have you been to the Jewish Quarter? It's right in the centre. It's this really eerie place, and there's a huge cemetery full of graves of Jewish people, and it's heartbreaking. It's really moving.
But yeah, that was the whole thing. Was I don't think we could record any other way. We really like kind of absorbing the place we're at and trying to put it down into music. Like as we said, trying to make with the synthesizer the sound of a running water or the sound of an atmosphere. It's the atmosphere you get. Like that's why Paris is essentially like quite like what people call a ballad. You know, like that, because that's how we felt about Paris. We were enamored by Paris. It's a beautiful place. We were, you know, everything about it kind of was reflected through Hugh's piano.
Definitely. And do you think, you've probably been asked this countless times, do you think it's important to be current? You know, for example, be the voice of a generation, or do you just think expressing yourself on stage through your music is kind of what music's about?
Yeah, I think it's definitely more about expressing ourselves. I mean, like a movement or something like that would come along with it. You know, no, I don't think anyone tries to make it a real movement or anything like that.
Sure.
Punk happened because that's what the kids wanted to do, and it all evolved from there.
Yeah. I don't think growing up in London, I don't think we don't really have any problem.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't face us directly, and we're actually inspired by a lot of previous revolutions and things like that. To be current in ideas, but not current in political stances and trying to show yourself off.
Yeah.
Not interested.
And what do you think you'd be doing now if you weren't in the band?
Recording a band.
So you'd be involved either way?
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff. And are there any artists you could recommend to our listeners at NSR?
Boningen from Japan, who got together in England. We work with them a lot, and we're going to do a short tour with them soon. A band called Toy. really good friends of ours make amazing kind of sound, all like kind of quite inspiring, like to hear. And
Yeah.
it was
Amazing musicians.
advert.
Good stuff. And Silver Apples and Purity Ring were some of the artists that recently remixed your stuff off again Into Eyes. Would you consider ever releasing a fully remixed album, or rather injecting that kind of sound into your next release?
We've really enjoyed remixing people recently. There's a band called Spectre who've been playing a lot. Wolfgang we've remixed.
Yeah.
And we really want to get into doing that, into actually remix. I think that's more of an influence on us than anyone who's remixing us. I think we actually find that remixing people, we kind of learn so much about making music and ordering music from remixing other people. And we'd be interested in doing our own album with remixes, but I don't know if
Remixed by S.C.U.M.
Yeah.
And finally, what's in store next for S.C.U.M? You've got the end of the Radar tour, but what's going to happen after that? A new album, or what?
We're going to start writing in December. There's a few ideas that we've got going around at the minute, so we're going to try and catalogue it all down see what comes of it. Definitely be a new album.
And we'll be going on tour in Europe, Scandinavia, and Holland and Germany.
Yeah.
So maybe some other Signal-like tracks coming up then.
Yeah, Moscow. We've got a Moscow Signals planned.
We'll be playing with Suede.
Yeah, Suede in Moscow.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
So we're going to take 2 days to do a Signal out there and hopefully start doing that side of the project, which will be really fun.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you very much, guys from S.C.U.M for NSR.
I have one there. I just see the number. Oh, okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah, I thought it was 23.
23. Thank you very much. Good luck with the show tonight. Bye-bye.